Welcome to another episode of Frontier Fundamentals. In this episode we're going to be doing manual landing and mining. There are a few different ways to mine in this game. The first and easiest is scooping hydrogen fuel from gas giants. I've covered this in episode 5, but it will be necessary to do it in this episode too. This only requires a fuel scoop and a ship capable of using one. If you want to make money this way, you can make some, and without even leaving the system, but it won't make you rich. Another way of mining is asteroid mining. This requires a 30 megawatt mining laser, a fuel scoop, and a cargo scoop conversion. This allows you to scoop up cargo pods with your fuel scoop and get them inside your cargo bay. Once you find an asteroid, blast away at it with a 30 megawatt pulse laser, and pieces will fly off which you can collect. So why aren't I showing you this rather than just talking about it? Well, one of the problems with this method of mining is finding the asteroids. I've never, ever found any. Ever. Well, that's not quite true. Sometimes I've found some, but only at the very start of the game. They can appear when you hyperspace into a system, but I've only ever seen this happen very early on when you don't have enough money to do anything about it. Very quickly they stop appearing, and even after several years of game time, I've never seen them again. They're gone for good. This is quite disappointing, of course. But there is yet another problem with asteroid mining. That's the scooping up of cargo. Sometimes when you destroy a ship, it will leave behind some cargo or just metal alloys, and in theory you can scoop these up for a bit of extra cash, just like you would with the fragments of asteroids. I've tried this, though, and it's bloody impossible. Well, virtually impossible. I've never managed to do it, despite a lot of trying. I always have to leave these precious metals or gemstones floating in space, unsold and wasted. So asteroid mining isn't much of a prospect either. So this leads us to planetary mining. This is actually doable. It's illegal to do this in colonized systems though, so you have to go to the frontier. You'll also need a fairly big ship to contain the mining machines. They're expensive and they're 30 tons each, and you can only find them in high-tech systems. But they are at least reusable. To use one, you need to land on a planet and deploy it, and then return about a month later to collect the ore, and collect the machine itself. You can then sell the ore and make some money. In theory. However, in practice, the amount of ore you get is pitiful and doesn't even cover your fuel expenses, not to mention the amount your crew will need to be paid. And things like engine maintenance and repair costs from the pirates you'll be dealing with. It's all just, sadly, a disappointing waste of time if you're trying to make a profit. It's a shame because it could have been an interesting part of the game. As it turns out, it's the most difficult and least rewarding activity you can do. And now that I've built it up so much, let's do it anyway, since it's a challenge in itself. For this job, I've chosen a Tiger Trader since it's big enough to hold several mining machines and isn't as slow as some of the larger ships. Manually landing on a planet can be difficult if the gravity is high, so a decent thrust is essential to avoid becoming another meteorite on one of these frontier planets. So let's head out and find some planets to mine. There's minerals in them thar planetoids. Okay, so I've got everything ready to do some frontier mining. I've moved my ship out to the Can-O-Lol system, which I'm sure is a barrel of laughs. And this is a frontier outdoor world. You'll find these spread out quite a bit around the frontier. So I'm in sector 3-10. It's fairly far out. And these are where some colonists have taken advantage of the fact that there's a naturally occurring Earth-like planet in various star systems out here. So, yeah, those can be quite useful as home bases while you're doing this exploration. So let's take a look at some planets. See, what you want to look for is one that says Frontier System, some prospecting and mining. So this means there's not even any unofficial colonies out here. If you look at here, you can see less than 1,000 people. No, it's anarchy. There's it's the Wild West or the Wild Sector 3-10. So let's just have a look around. There's another frontier outdoor world. These are pretty well populated, but now this planet this system has no gas giants. So generally, I'd like to stick to ones with gas giants so we can refuel whenever we need to. Let's have a look. Now, I've heard that the best planets to go for are large planets of two Earth masses or higher, but I can't land this thing on systems like that. So we're going to have to settle for ones that are a bit smaller, like these. This one is 0.46. At least we'll try a few different systems, a few different planets in the Xvio system. So let's launch. And then hyperspace away. Now, there will be a lot of pirates in these systems. I don't know why they hang out in these systems, but they do. And oh look, let's go to Tracy's Hole. Some of these are named, even though they don't have people's colonies on them for some reason. I guess because they've been named by some mining prospector, which means we may actually be approaching a planet that was already mined out. Now, here we can see one of these pirates. Now, I'm fighting in a Tiger Trader, which is a pretty big and ungainly ship. Which is why I've chosen it. Ah, look, here we go. This is a chance to demonstrate how bloody impossible this is. I'm going to set my engines off. I'm going to try to approach this. Now, the best thing you can do is try to match your velocity with the thing to start with, after you get to a certain distance, that is. And match your sideways velocity too. You can do this in the same way you do with a ship. See, as I'm thrusting towards it on that side and thrusting away from it on this side, I can kind of even out its motion, in theory. I'm doing this a bit too fast. I should just approach slowly. So just thrust. You see, in the direction that it's moving, that's where I want to thrust towards. In the direction that it's, if I'm reverse thrusting, it should be facing in the opposite of its horizontal and vertical direction to us. This is, I promise you, I'm not going to get this. Did I even have a cargo scoop conversion? I do not, but I'm going to show you how to do this anyway. Oh, see, we're getting closer. Now, in theory, you just need to fly into it, but you can't even collide with it. I think it might be bugged. I've never got it to work. But if you want to give it a try, this is how you should do it. Just gradually approach, and you can just get it at some kind of stationary thing, and then just approach slowly. But this would be no more successful if I had a cargo scoop conversion. Oh, I actually hit it. Interesting. Well, that might have actually gone in if I had a cargo scoop conversion. So yeah, that's typical. The one time that it works is the time that I can't do it. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, another attack. So this is going to keep going for a while. And the thing is, you will make a lot more money from killing pirates in these systems than you will from mining, which is kind of silly. I really don't know what the pirates actually get out of this, because they can't have cargo scoop conversions on a lot of these ships, especially the little ones. Oh dear, let's go 4 megawatt beam. Okay, oh god, it nearly hit us. It's very hard to back away from these things. There we go. See, bounty of 200. That is already so much more than we'll get from mining. But there are occasions where you might want to manually land on a planet. Just for the challenge, just to... Oh dear. Oh, that nearly hit us. They're fighting some quite large ships here. They've even got shields. But larger ships are always easier to deal with, because small ships are impossible to hit. With the exception of the Imperial Courier, that is very hard to deal with, because it's usually got a 100 megawatt laser, or 20 megawatt. I can't remember. The white one. So yeah, this is another combat addendum, I guess, after all. Come on. Alright, I'm just gonna kill these guys and then come back to you when they're all dead. Oh, mine. How scary. Okay, we finished off the last few pirates, and I'm proceeding to Tracy's Hole. Now, with a ship, usually you can let the autopilot do this for you, but with a ship like this, which has a very weak reverse thrust, you might want to manually... Oh, there's Another ship. Just wanted to get in right at the end while I'm trying to talk. Always interruptions. Oh, it's just... Oh, now, this may look pretty weak. Okay, well it was. But a 5 megawatt pulse laser can be pretty devastating if it does 2 or 3 hits on you. Especially with only 2 shield generators. Okay. Now, I've got within a certain distance. Fortunately, our velocity vector is quite off-center. So we won't actually need to worry about slamming into it. One thing you do need to worry about is trying to approach planets like gas giants, because by the time you're in the vicinity, their size means that they're kind of hard to avoid. But little planetoids like this, they're not too hard to miss. Because as big as a planetoid is, space is bigger. So here we are approaching Tracy's hole. You may make your own jokes as we try to approach it and then mine it. So yeah, I've set my time acceleration to level 4, and as you can see, it's moving through the system. So we're kind of chasing it. I'm going to speed up a bit. The key to this kind of manual piloting is to make sure that at the time acceleration that you're moving through. Oh god, there's 2 of them. What the hell? Oh, that's interesting. You can see those guys in the distance there. I've been moving through less than maximum time acceleration, so they're actually approaching at like real speed. They're not sort of just auto appearing in front of me. I could just ram this guy because he's pretty weak. But yeah, let's look at these. You can actually... Yeah, these Ospreys always come in 3s. So yeah, here they come. Like, let's actually watch them approach. This rarely happens. You're gonna die. Oh. Okay, this is interesting. I get to fight 2 at once. It's quite an unusual situation. Yeah, I think there was a bug in the game, because in First Encounters, the 3rd Elite game, which is very similar to this, it's they will appear in clusters, not just one at a time, which can actually make these smaller ships a bit more of a threat. So you see, as I was shooting that one, this one was firing at me. Oh dear. Oh, it hit me. But look, it only took down half my shields. It's actually more efficient to ram those ones. Okay, now where's Tracy's hole? I can't find Tracy's hole. Oh god. Where is it? There it is. I found it. Okay. Who would name it that? Seriously. It's just a bad idea. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying, you want to make sure that your ability to accelerate and decelerate matches the time acceleration you're going with. Whoa. Okay, I just pressed escape there to suddenly slow down, because I think as we entered Tracy's hole's vicinity, our relative velocity changed quite a bit. Now I'm going to slow down to about 60,000 kmh, aim just above the planet, accelerate a bit more, time that is, not real acceleration. Now when you're doing mining, you don't have to worry about time, so you can afford to take your time with this, and it's not too much of a problem. Okay. Also, one thing that's worth doing a lot is saving. So I'm going to save here, and then let's proceed. Okay, so it's best to sort of aim towards the horizon, just above it. You're trying to approach the planet indirectly. You don't want to be heading straight towards its core, because you'll not be able to slow down in time. This way, you can get closer to the planet and keep slowing down. So here we go. I am moving towards the planet quite fast, so I'm going to aim my ship up a bit, and then hopefully that's moving this velocity vector up. So there you go. The altitude is now evening out at that speed. So I'm going to get my speed down to about 10,000 kmh before I start to level off. Now, with the reverse thrust on this, it's pretty naff, so I'm just going to turn my ship around so you can see the... you can actually tell by the thrusters on this. As I rotate the ship, the left and right thrusters move about. So there, you can see that's equalising my velocity. And you can see my actual speed is going down quite a lot. But now that I've got the speed down a bit, I can turn around again. Whoa! The controls on a big ship like this are a bit clunky. Okay, now let's just keep moving our speed down, and we'll aim slightly towards the planet. Alright, might as well put down the landing gear now. There we go. You don't need to put it down till you're obviously on the ground, well, approaching the ground, but sometimes it's easy to forget, so yeah. Now, you do need some patience to do this, right? Because I could just aim it right at the floor, but then as I try to move up, as I try to pull up, it's going to take a while to do so. So just aim at this kind of angle. Keep an eye on your altitude. Keep slowing down. Basically, you won't see. Let's say I can lose 1,000. You know, get a sense of how much velocity you can lose in how much time, so that you've got time to slow it down. And just gradually ease it in. This is not like Kerbal Space Program, not at all. Your ship has unreasonable amounts of thrust to weight ratio. It's just ridiculous. It can't be just a rocket engine. It's got to be some kind of magical thing, because I don't know where this energy comes from. Because the rocket equation is still real, but you know, I'm not complaining. It would have been nice to be able to see orbit lines and trajectories and things like you can in Kerbal Space Program in this game, but you know, that would be asking for a lot. So yeah, I've heard that a lot of this game was unfinished. It was pushed by the publishers. I mean, it's still amazing, but there are some parts of it which do just feel unfinished, like the mining, which is why nobody does it. Yeah. I'm wondering if this will be part of Elite Dangerous. I mean, not landing, because, well, maybe in a later update. But if they do landing, will there be planetary mining? And also, will there be asteroid mining? Because I think that's cooler. Like, it's more fun. Cutting off bits of asteroids with lasers. Okay. Now, once you reach a certain height, you can just slow down entirely. Set your set velocity to 0, and then see, I'm sorry, I'm pointing it down here because at this velocity I can pull up pretty fast. You see the velocity factor follows quite quickly at this speed, so I don't need to worry too much. But if you're unsure, just keep saving, and just make sure your altitude isn't going down too fast. This isn't very difficult on a planet like this with weak gravity, but on one that's got a lot of gravity, once you start falling, your engines will not be powerful enough to counteract the acceleration of gravity downwards. Now I'm setting my velocity to 0 as I reach just above 1,000, and then you can see my velocity vector start to drift downwards. Now my actual speed is still showing 16.5 even though I'm set to 0, and it's consistent on that, and that's because I'm falling. But I'm falling slowly enough. But basically you want to be about below 100 kmh. If you're at the point where you're falling faster than that, you're probably going to blow up when you hit the ground. No matter how many shield generators you have. So that's basically a planet you can't land on. I tried to do a thing where I kind of tilt the ship up and then use my thrusters, but it doesn't work because it's just too tricky. Yeah, and unfortunately you can't manually control your directional thrusters, so it'd be nice if I could fire my bottom thruster now, like pew. So I'm just accelerating to level 2. That doesn't screw things up too badly, but if you do faster, I'm going to save and then I'm going to show you. If you go faster, it kind of screws up the physics a bit. I just showed you that very briefly there. You see, you start actually rising up. I don't know why, but something about the physics calculation or whatever. Okay, so just keep it on level 2. I think you can land safely on level 2, but be safe and just let it get down to... yeah. Okay, oh, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're landed. Rough. Okay. So you can see the landing, the engine icon changes to takeoff, and your camera won't go further down than that. And now we can deploy our mining machines. We have 4 of them here, and the way you deploy them is on the on this control panel here. You can either click this or press D, and there it goes. Look at that. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Surface at -73 is mined out. No substances worth mining detected. That's a shame. Okay. So we'll just reload that. That's a shame. Tracy's hole is empty. Let's try again, just in case. Deploying mining machine. Ah, here we go. Yeah, surface at -73 is mainly water ice, suitable for water mining. Okay, so apparently Tracy's hole is full of water. So we can we can leave that for about a month, and come back and get some water, which is so valuable in the stock market. Anyway, let's launch. And this is the same as launching off a planet with a starport. You just angle your ship up, accelerate away, and there you go.